What's going on, YouTube? Sorry for the delay. For those of you who were looking forward to a video a couple of days ago, I ran into a few issues with the GR86. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but let's just say it's not running right now. I'm waiting on a part to come in from Toyota, so that car is going to be sitting for another few days, unfortunately. But you know, I still got to make content, so here I am in the MX-5, which is not a bad substitute in all honesty, especially a day like today with the sun still being out and the weather's getting a little bit warmer than normal. So of course you see that I can drive with the top down today, so I'm happy about that. But today I'm here to teach you guys. I have been getting a few comments and over my last few Miata videos to teach you guys, though, for those of you who don't know how to drive manual. I'm here to talk to you about driving manual and to give you some very beginner tips. I'm gonna try to do it as Barney style as possible. Like, I figured that's the way I learn as far as like learning anything new. So I'm gonna try to be as transparent as possible. I don't have a second camera that's on my feet. So again, if you have any questions about how I'm going to explain this video, just please leave them in the comment section and I will do my best, or someone in the comment section will definitely assist in answering any questions that you may have in regards to driving a manual transmission. So brief story on manual cars in my experience. For me, obviously I'm building my channel off of manual transmission vehicles. It's a whole different driving experience that in my opinion is unrivaled when you drive this car versus an automatic. Even when I do drive my wife's car, I still find myself, you know, looking for the third pedal. I'm sure some of you can relate when you drive, you know, a car that's an automatic after you only drive manual. And the reason why I do drive manual is just, you know, to not make driving such a chore. I would rather make it an adventure rather than a chore. And running errands in this car is definitely fun, especially with the top down. It just provides an experience that an automatic vehicle can't provide. So that's one of the main reasons. I could go into something, you know, go in deeper on that, but this video is mainly about teaching you guys. But so I just figured I'd give you a brief overview on why I drive manual. And obviously I just want to become a better driver, and now that I'm kind of in the enthusiast community, you know, knee deep, I want to learn everything I can about it. And there's always something to learn, hence why my GR86 is down right now, because I'm trying to learn things and I make mistakes, and that's okay. I can't blame nobody but myself on that, but hey, it is what it is. So like I said before, I got a few comments in the comment section below stating, you know, should they get the manual over the auto transmission over the manual Miata? This is how this video sparked my interest for me to make a full video on it. And this will be in parts, because I know this is going to be I'm going to try to make it as detailed as I can, and having 10 to 15 minutes to do all of that is just not doing you guys any justice. So I had a few questions saying that should they get the auto over the manual, and my answer to you is, and I think everybody else who owns one of these vehicles will definitely tell you, that that would be one of the biggest mistakes you'll make in your whole life, in your car life at least, just due to the fact that it offers a whole different experience, you know, controlling the car manually than it is for an auto. I haven't driven the auto of one of these cars, but honestly, in any auto car that I've had, manuals are just way more fun. Especially with this thing. It's just a little dune buggy that sounds like it's going fast when it's really not. Now you could also add mods and everything to make it go as fast as you kind of want it to go, or make it quote unquote a fast car, but that's not what this car is for. And in any car that you would want to learn manual in, it would be this one or the GR86. There are a couple of others out there, but I'm just going by my experience and how I taught my daughters how to drive and everything like that. So without further ado, I'll give you some tips on how to even, how to understand everything in here. So obviously we got the steering wheel. That's obvious. I think some of you are already driving autos, so I'm not going to go in too deep on certain things, but if you want more information about it, just leave them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer it. So again, at the bottom here, instead of just the gas and the brake, you also have a clutch, which is on your left. For those of you who are in North America, on your left is your clutch, the far left. The only reason why you would need this clutch is to shift the gear. Anything else, you don't really need it. So just, everybody says, oh, I'm driving with 2 feet. It's difficult. Not really, unless you are very experienced, like most of us in the community that drive manual. You won't really be driving with 2 feet. Try to think of it as, I just need it to do one specific task, which is changing the gears and obviously starting the car. For example, I'm popping the clutch in. I'm hoping you guys can see my tachometer here. I'm popping the clutch in. I have the key indicator saying that, hey, you guys are good. Well, you are good to start the car. So in autos, you have the brake, which I'm pressing the brake now and not the clutch. You can't start the car like that. In the manual, you start the car with the clutch, and then your start stop button comes, light turns green, indicating that you are ready to start the car. But we're not going to do that right now because it's not necessary. So over here, you got the e-brake, which is basically park, because as a traditional H-pattern manual, you do not have a park. This is your park. Now, when I go in depth on my other videos, I will tell you what else you could use this for. But mainly for you guys, you beginners, it's a park and brake. That's all it is. On the hills, you'll notice that if you've driven other cars before, if you're on a really steep hill, people tell you to use a park and brake. Yes, you should be able to do that. It'll help with the wear on the transmission and everything like that. But this is your everything as far as parking the car, and that's a manual, because you're in neutral here. If you see, this is how you could tell you're in neutral. It's loose and it can kind of go in any direction. You're in neutral at that point. That's your neutral. And once you're in neutral, you pull the e-brake up. Some people like to leave it in gear, in first gear, and park it. I really don't do that, and I haven't had any issues with doing what I'm doing, like leaving it in neutral and parking, even when parking on like inclines. So do with that as you will. I'm not saying that it's good or bad, because I just normally don't do it. But I know a lot of people do it. So it's pretty normal if you see someone parking in gear, because it also helps from you not falling. So, and I believe that's from older cars, if I'm not mistaken. But again, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section for sure. So on to the best part of the manual is the gear shifter. You have a traditional H pattern here. You got reverse, in the Mazda at least, on the left side. For example, my WRX has reverse on the right side, which is right down, kind of where 6 is. But on this car, and I believe the 8.6, reverse is on the left. And the 8.6, being that it is technically a Subaru, it has a reverse lockout, which will be a ring right here that you just use to get into reverse. So that's basically something that you would need so you don't accidentally go in reverse, which I think it's a really good way to also teach you that, hey, don't worry, we're not gonna let you go in reverse, on accident or anything like that. And in this car, being that it doesn't have a lockout, you reverse by pushing this down and then going to reverse. That's how you go into reverse. So you go here, boom, reverse. So you can't accidentally go into reverse, and you shouldn't be going this left anyway, just due to the fact that you know, that's gear 1 and gear 2. You shouldn't be in this lane at all unless you are going very, very slow, or you at a complete stop. So I'm going to explain what each gear means to me, and how you should kind of go by using these gears before I even you know, get the car started. I think in the next video I'll start the car and show you how they work. But gear 6, we call it overdrive. For those of you who like to save gas on the highway, if you're going about 10 miles, 10, 15 miles over, using 6 is going to get you the most gas savings. And in this car in particular, the Mazda, I could push about 43, 44 miles a gallon going 65 miles an hour in 6. 5 is your standard long traffic roads, probably don't have a lot of red lights on them. That's what you want there. You really won't be using that much if you're driving in the city, to be honest with you, especially the way this car is currently tuned. But then again, if you're not getting this car and you're getting another one, you will know what gear is for what. But I have a science to each gear, and it kind of works on every manual, and I'll let you know what I mean by that. So for example, gear 6, just add a 0 to it, and that's how fast you should be going for 6. 6, add a 0, that's 60. If you're at 60 miles an hour, gear 6 is fine. Gear 5, add a 0, it's 50. Gear 4, add a 0, that's 40. Gear 3, add a 0, it's 30. 2, add a 0, it's 20. If you're pushing past 20, just shift into 3, just to be on the safe side. Gear 1, 10 miles an hour and below. If you're going any faster than that, shift into gear 2. Again, this is just for the beginners. You will have your own style on how you shift once you kind of get used to how the gearbox works, because each gearbox is different. And from experience from the MX-5, this transmission is very forgiving, so you can kind of stay in a couple of gears. I think 4 can take you all the way to about 60 before you would feel the need to shift. It'll take you about 5,500 RPM before you would have to shift into 5 or 6. But for those of you who are beginners, just follow that rule of thumb. Each gear, just add a 0 to it, and just use it that way. And for before I end the video, because this is going to be the end of part 1, for those of you who are nervous about the hills, I wouldn't be, especially if you're in a newer vehicle. I would say like 2016 and up. If it's a manual, most likely it'll have a hill assist. I can't say it for every car, but for every car I've had, 2016 and up had a anti-hill descent or something like that. So basically what that is that what most people find struggling with a manual transmission is that they are scared to shift out of first shift into first going up an incline. It's not that difficult for me, but again, I'm trying to put my mind in the brain of when I first started learning. When I first started learning, it made me nervous, and what I did was pull the e-brake up and then shift and then pull the e-brake down once I got the car kind of at 1100 RPM. Once I did that and I let go of the clutch a little bit, I pulled the e-brake down. So I did that just to kind of compensate for what you would call hill assist. And nowadays in the newer vehicles, you guys have, well, we all have hill assist, which gives you about 1.5 seconds. I think I timed it before. It's like 1 second or a little over 1 second to do your business, do what you need to do to get the car rolling. And again, I taught my daughters this stuff, and that, you know, it took them a couple of times. They were nervous, and I always threw the hazards on just so people would, so I would indicate to the other people behind us that she's trying to do what she needs to do, but at least give her some space so when she rolls back, she's not hitting anyone. But learning in the Miata is definitely a blast, because it's very small, so neither one of them feel they don't feel intimidated about when the car is rolling back. And again, the car isn't fast. So it's a perfect platform to learn on. I encourage you guys to just give it a shot. And again, on the next video, I will go into detail about driving the car. But before I go, I'd like to thank all the new subscribers that has come in over the last couple of weeks. I really do appreciate it. We're almost at 300 and we're growing, man. This family is growing, and I really, really appreciate it. For those of you who are tuning in, and sorry for the delay on the videos, but you know, sometimes real life catches up to you and you kind of just have to address some things. And that's the same with everybody. And this is a hobby for me and I love doing it, but at the same time, when business got to be handled, I just have to do that. So thank you guys for like, comment, and subscribing. And part 2 of this video, I will go over the tachometer and how I use it versus the speed, and also do a little bit of driving as well. I didn't do that this time just due to the fact that I'd rather explain what these mean so you can have it in your head first. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.